Hey guys, welcome back. For those of you who haven't been here before, I'm Jesse with Green Chick Gardens, and today I'm going to show you all of the Albo Monsteras that I've got. Let's begin. Alright, so I've got 7 Albo Monsteras that I'm going to show you today. Most of them have pretty awesome variegation on them. One's not so much. 5 of them are from the same plant. I had a very large Albo that I cut up, propagated, and so I've got 4 cuttings off of that plus the top cutting. I would say I probably had 7 to 8 cuttings. I didn't do that well with the propagations. I had a couple rot. A couple more that were rotting, and I cut them just to try and get rid of the rot and see if I could save them. But I didn't. I ended up with 5. So before I get to those, I want to show you the 2 that are just their own that I bought probably off Etsy somewhere. And the first one is this beauty. She has some awesome variegation. Little browning happened. I trimmed it off on this leaf. We've got even a little more right there. And the newest leaf to come in is absolutely beautiful. Pretty much a half moon there, but very good variegation all around on this plant. And I would imagine the next leaf to come out will also be awesome. This one very white. But this is the first one I'll show you today. This one took me a while to get growing. I believe it probably was about to start growing, and that's when I got thrips. It took me a while to get rid of thrips. Probably when some of this browning happened as well. But she's growing good now. This leaf is pretty new. It hasn't even hardened off yet. So it'll probably be another 3 weeks, I would imagine, before we start to get another leaf growing off of this one. But this is my first one. This one's beautiful. Very happy about this one. And let's get to the other one that I bought off of Etsy. It's weird how some Monsteras just look different. Like that one has a lighter green color compared to this one. I think you could tell the difference there. They've got to just be different sports, I would guess. I'm not sure. But you can see this one had some fenestrations. And then I probably bought this when it still had these 2 leaves. And this leaf is an older leaf as well that got a little damage. But the newest leaf to come in looks awesome. I love the patchiness with a little bit of the, speckling going on. I'm very impressed with this leaf. And it's pretty big, so I think I'm doing something all right with this one. The root, it's got that new root going into the ground down here, so we're growing pretty well. But I hope that the next couple leaves that come off of this one look, something like this, because that is just an awesome Albo Monstera. And this one, I'm sure it'll start fenestrating again pretty quickly, since the second to last leaf already looked like that. But these are the 2 separate ones that came from Etsy orders. I don't even know who threw. Just surfing on Etsy, you can just you can buy stuff. You can rack up your shopping cart pretty quick, if you've ever been there. Okay, so this next 5 are gonna be all from my large Monstera that I had. And I'll show you the top cutting first. It's the biggest. And it's kind of interesting how I've got 4 they were essentially wet sticks at the time, that have now grown out and sprouted from new buds, and just how different they all are. It's kind of interesting, but we'll get to that when we get there. All right, first I'll show you the top cutting, which is by far the biggest. She is a beauty. And this one had 3 leaves when I first, this was the top cutting, had 3 leaves. So it had this leaf, this beautiful leaf. Oh. And this leaf, man, that leaf right there, definitely stunning. So it took a long time actually. I was assuming, since it was the top cutting, that we were gonna get like really quick growth off of it. But this one took forever to establish. And it was only the last month where we actually got this newest leaf to come out here. And it's very well fenestrated. I mean, I'm pleased with it for sure. It's beautiful. But it took a while, and obviously it's a little smaller size too. Probably just from the stress of, you know, shipping and me probably not knowing halfway what I'm doing. It also came out with this newest root, which I tried to tuck into the pot, and you can see I snapped it pretty well. That's not how a root normally looks, but it still did end up managing to go down into the pot, and it's starting to take hold now. So it's still alive, it's still growing. We're okay, we're okay. So this is the top cutting, and I'll show you the 4 after this. I did just want to say, the reason I did a video on Albos today is it's around Christmas time. I got my green and my red on, and anyway, sorry about that, you know, kids. So the reason I wanted to talk about Albo Monsteras around Christmas time is 3 to 4 years ago, one of the two, was right around Christmas time was when I actually first got into variegated plants. And the first plant, which for most of us was the Albo Monstera. And as soon as I saw pictures of it, I couldn't stop, and I loved it. And I wanted to get one so bad, but the price on those at that time was way too much for me to afford, to say the least. But so I just kept looking, and I kept looking. Eventually I broke down and bought just a little bitty wet stick for like $120, and just let it sit there and propagated it in some sphagnum moss for months and months, and it never did anything. And I got so down about it because it never grew. It ended up rotting, but that didn't hold me back. I kept buying more and more. You're not gonna keep every single one of them in pristine condition. So you just gotta keep going, especially if you're passionate about it. It's easy to just keep collecting. So that's why I'm wanting to do this video today. Okay, anyways, back on track. So this is the top cutting, and I'm gonna show you can see the variegation and kind of the pattern of the variegation on that one. So let's show you a little bit of the different patterns that came from the same plant. It's pretty interesting to me. So the first one I'd say is pretty similar. It's a half moon, but it is very, very cute. That little leaf is just beautiful. She's already pushing out another one. Looks like that one's gonna be pretty more marbled, I would say. Not as much half moon for sure. But this one started to grow pretty well. So we've got this one. Let's go see what the other ones are. This one's the worst one of the bunch. See if I can show you that. It's almost like a mint color. It's not a mint monstera by any means, but it's a very odd, there's not very much, you know, like that contrasting white color against the green. It's almost like a light green, but there's not much of it. This is definitely not the most impressive of my Albos, but it is one of my Albo babies, so we'll keep it. See what the next leaf looks like. It's already starting to come out there. You can see the little curlicue coming up. So that's 2 different varieties already coming off of one. Then this next one is almost completely white. I mean, just barely any green on it. And I don't know, I wouldn't say these are my favorite. I mean, a lot of people strive for, you know, super white Albos. But I really like just the color in splotches. I still like my green. Obviously these are a lot harder to grow the more white they have too. And you're gonna get a lot more browning, which is a problem for everyone. If it's not a problem for you, let me know what your tips and tricks are. So this one is super white. And then we have the fourth and last one is also a very white one. And this one's been kind of confusing for me as it's grown. So let's see if I can take you back. The first leaf to come out was this leaf. And I mean, it was almost completely white. Had a little bit of green right here, a little bit of browning I've cut off, but all these areas were just white. And then you had that secondary layer of green. I think that's what they say, or that's what they call it, is that secondary layer. So it wasn't completely white, but it was, you know, there was not very much chlorophyll there. But it's weird, you look at the back, look how green that is compared to the front. I don't know, I just thought that was odd. So that leaf came out. The next leaf to come out was completely white, and you can see what has happened to it. It's gone. So that one came out, and that was my first ever all white leaf. So I was excited, but it quickly browned up. I mean, it actually browned up in like 4 or 5 days, I think, before it even hardened off. It was pretty much already a goner. So I didn't know what was gonna happen. I heard many people talk about how, you know, you don't want white leaves, all white leaves, just because there's no chlorophyll for the plant to make more energy for your next leaves. But the next leaf to come out, believe it or not, was, I mean, a beautiful, what I would call ideal, you know, consistency of white and green. And I think that's just a beautiful leaf. And I was very pumped, and I was like, all right, we're back on track. And then this next leaf to come out has been all white again. There's still strips of green coming out of it, so there's still hope. But we'll see. I'll keep you updated on this one. This is definitely my whitest of the Albos that I have. But nostalgically, I just wanted to show all my Albos, just because this is kind of the thing that got me into variegated plants and really into the plant hobby. I'm big on bonsai, and I've always been big on bonsai, but plants, house plants, aeroids are pretty new to my hobby obsession list. Only been in the game for 5 years or so. But I just wanted to reminisce on it a little bit and show you guys, you know, what I'm propping with my Albo Monsteras. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like and subscribe to Green Chick Gardens for more content, and I'll see you next time.